We're the Geeky Guys.
And today we're going to be doing a retrospective look back at season 1 of the Orville, which has just finished airing on UK TV. So what did you think of it, Mr. P?
Awesome.
Yeah.
We did a podcast a little while ago where we talked about what we thought it was going to be like, what our hopes were, and well, I think we can both agree it's lived up to it.
It's pretty much lived up to it and surpassed it, hasn't it? All our hopes and dreams of the Orville have been met, haven't they?
Yeah. A sci-fi comedy.
Yeah.
From the creator of Family Guy.
And I mean, how could it possibly go wrong? I mean, we thought right from the start it was going to be good. But I don't think we quite realised how good it was going to be and how right they were going to get it in their first season as well.
Yeah. I mean, the format is very Star Trek.
Yeah.
Very Next Generation. And that works.
It was very much pushed as a bit of a Star Trek spoof, Star Trek parody, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I think I don't even know if the show's writers and producers quite realised how much it was going to be a show in its own right. And it wasn't just a ham up of Star Trek, but it was actually a serious sci-fi show in its own right. It's done that very quickly.
Well, Seth Macfarlane himself said that going into series 2 it is going to be not more serious, but it's certainly going to grow as that show of its own.
Yeah, I think so.
Which I think it has done towards the end of series 1.
Yeah, it's already pretty much there, isn't it? It's not going to take much more to go further down that line.
No. And it's we say parody, but as a tip of the hat to Star Trek.
Yeah.
It's dealt with moral issues just like Star Trek does.
Yeah, massively.
Whole episodes where actually you've had big clumps of time where there's been no humour or jokes.
No, there's been very little. I mean, people have commented on that and said that it wasn't very jokey, there wasn't a lot of laugh out loud stuff, but you don't need the laugh out loud stuff.
You're still glued to the screen.
Yeah, you don't need that every episode.
Let's talk about the cast.
Yeah, we've got to talk about the cast.
So, in true Star Trek style, you have a group that really work together where
they gel together as a team, don't they? It pretty much is bridge crew, isn't it? As it's always been. You do get the odd little bits in engineering and in sick bay with other characters that are not in the show so much, but it's majority is the bridge crew, how they get on together, developing those characters and those characters having a story of their own to tell.
Very quick, you had in series 1 we've had just several people who have had a backstory or connections that we know about.
Yeah, definitely.
So obviously a lot of Ed Mercer, the captain, and his split up from his wife, and then she ends up being his first officer, and that's like a big thing. Of course, the helmsman is his mate.
Yeah, that's right. We pretty much got him the job because of that, because he'd known him for that many years. They were good friends. He knew they'd get on well together, and he's a damn good pilot as well.
So they kind of work. And then there's characters like Dr. Finn, who, of course, we had an episode that looked a little bit more at her life and her kids.
Yeah, a little bit.
Which is nice. There's a few we've not really looked at much yet.
Of course, I had the episode with Alara Katan, Firestorm, where they went into her backstory and how things in her past, in her childhood, she was worried that her fears that she had back then were going to affect her doing her job in the now. As it were.
Yeah, they've almost give each one of them an episode.
Yeah,
almost. And it's worked. We sat here talking about it now, and you're starting to think about things and think, well, actually, yeah, they did have an episode.
And of course, Robert Picardo, Star Trek alumni himself. The Doctor from Voyager came in as Alara's father.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was nice. As we said again, another nod back to previous Trek.
And Jonathan Frakes has directed.
Yeah, he's directed an episode. I think he's already down for doing another one in season 2.
Yeah. So it's just gone from strength to strength, hasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, in terms of the episodes, we talk about the moral issues. Maybe we ought to have a word about some of them. There's been some good ones,
and again, a little bit Trek reminiscent in episodes. there's always been episodes in Star Trek where they've had to save someone who doesn't know they need saving.
Yeah,
that's a staple thing that they chuck in on all the series. So if the star should appear, episode 4, where you have a whole group of people on a holoship that don't really know they're on a holoship, and it's going to crash into a sun, and they've got to go there and say, actually, your whole world is in fact not a world at all. Yeah. So their whole world is actually literally turned upside down.
Yeah.
And they quickly cut through all their religious beliefs in one foul swoop. That was, I think, that we agreed a while back. That was the first episode where you kind of had a proper Star Trek away mission.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? That's when there was a problem. They saw that there was a distress of some sort. They decided to get involved and try to sort it out as per Union Fleet rules. But of course, with all these things as they have with people trying to follow Federation rules and UFP rules, sometimes there are exceptions, and you have to do what you think is right and make the decision that you can live with. I think that's been the big thing in this.
I like that a couple of the things didn't go the way you thought they were going to go. So you'd watch an episode and think, I can see what they're doing here. And then it just didn't.
Yeah.
So episode 3, about a girl.
Yeah, the Moclan Society.
For me, I didn't think that was going to happen at the end.
No, well, they kind of said, this is our culture, we're doing it until...
Normally it's, well, we think it's wrong, so we managed to find a loophole somewhere that keeps everybody happy, and they didn't do that. We're not really going to go into every detail in case someone hasn't watched it yet, but basically it was a case of, no, go away, we're doing it our way.
Yeah, this is how we've done it for hundreds of years. Nobody's moaned about it before. And they even had, of course, the Moclan female that had been living in the wilderness that nobody knew about, even came forward and showed that she could be strong and intelligent and create loads of things. And she was one of their best authors, but they never knew it was an alias. They didn't realise it was a woman, but even with all that, they still said, well, yeah, it's just a one-off. We're still changing it. If they're born as females from birth, we're changing them to males.
The writing's been really good.
It has. That's what it comes down to, isn't it?
Yeah. We've said all along, you can have a great idea, you can have a great budget. If you don't have the writing, you ain't got anything.
Yeah. And of course, with they brought the social media aspect into it, as well as obviously foreign politics with the majority rule episode, where you were voting whether somebody was going to get punished, how they were going to get punished, if they were going to get exiled.
It's very quite reminiscent of the episode of what's the TV show? Black Mirror. Is it Black Mirror?
Yeah, they've had very similar. They
had one with
a couple of those episodes.
The likes and the dislikes.
Yeah.
Kind of worth. It's almost like currency, isn't it?
Yeah.
In a way, and that was an interesting episode.
Yes, with Bryce Dallas, wasn't it, where she was going through her life and trying to get her points up once she said she could.
That's I like that episode, and again, this was a bit like it, wasn't it? Took
it was a very similar theme, wasn't it? But
a nice big social commentary on social media,
and foreign politics, because you get a lot of that. Even bringing religion into it as well, you get a lot of that kind of thing, don't you?
I think finally another episode again that jumps out is obviously where Ed and Gordon, episode 6, where they go to the Krill ship to blow it up, and you have a lot of moral implications there when they get there and find out there's lots of children and families, and they don't really want to blow the ship up with children on board.
I mean, they go in, don't they, as well, to try and learn about their religion, so they can try and get some inroads into starting a conversation with them. But then when they're over there, they obviously find the weapon of mass destruction, and they find out that they're going to do something really bad to another species. They have to act quickly. So it's, do we get this information and try and help our relationship with Union Fleet, with the Krill in the future, or do we do what's happening now, the issue now, stop this problem, but we're going to kill a lot of children on board that have nothing to do with these plans?
And that went very Star Trek.
Yeah, that was.
And when we keep saying it goes very Star Trek, that's a positive. We're saying that as a compliment.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's been a long time since we had a Star Trek television show on TV.
Yeah, and I think watching
it, aside from Discovery that's just come out, of course, but this is a bit different.
Yeah, I think you feel very TNG Voyager when you're watching Orville, don't you?
Yeah.
You very much feel that, especially with the away missions. They feel very.
So it's been since when did Enterprise finish? 05?
05.
2005?
Yeah, I'm sure
Since
it was.
Enterprise has been on TV. So since we've had a regular Trek show.
Yeah, over a decade, isn't it, since we've had Star Trek primetime TV.
It's a long time. Well, we've got Discovery now, because of course, which is a bit different because that's sort of serialised. Okay.
I think the only thing we haven't really discussed yet is how good the budget has been and the effects.
Just about to say, let's talk about the budget.
Yeah.
Because again, for a I don't like to use the word spoof, for a show that's a bit of a gimmick, I suppose, in a way, you wouldn't think that the budget would be that good, but it was actually quite good.
It is good, and we've said some of the shots have been beautiful, haven't they, with the Orville orbiting planets and going through asteroid belts and stuff. They've been, I would say, filmic, not quite on the level of like full feature film perhaps, but very close to it, which is impressive for a TV series.
It is. I think one thing for me is Yafat didn't really work.
No.
It was okay as a gimmick, but the character of Yafat didn't work.
Yeah, and I think they've kind of said already, haven't they, that they don't really see the future for that character and how they can do that much with it, really, apart from the comedic value.
Yeah.
That's probably about it. So I think Norm Macdonald's going to be looking for work fairly shortly.
Sorry, Norm.
Sorry, Norm.
For those that don't know, Yafat's like a gelatinous blob
greeny
creature that kind of slithers around.
Yeah, he did want to be chief engineer, and then obviously Lamar got the job ahead of him, and so that's his arc finished with the engineering side of the ship.
Nice development for Lamar, in fact.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting because they've not really tested him in that new role too much yet.
It's one of those where we didn't know much about him, so when it was discovered that in fact the people on board inside the Orville universe didn't really know that much about him, and he actually was quite clever.
Yeah, that's right. Hidden that.
You were along for the ride, and it didn't become too much. It wasn't too unbelievable.
Yeah, you just kind of thought it was him and Gordon, that they were the jokey two, the drinkers that were kind of there because they were mates with the captain.
To be fair, you've got your Lieutenant Tom Paris and your Harry Kim there, haven't you?
Yeah,
whereas again, Harry Kim, engineering and actually quite clever. Although bless him, Harry actually never got a promotion.
No, he didn't. He really.
Sorry, Garrett.
Yeah, next time, Garrett.
The budget's been really good. Let's go through pros and cons then, just real quick. So our own, because we've not talked about we've not talked about this. So pros and cons. A con for me is Yaffa. I didn't think that worked.
Yeah,
comic value, but I don't. But again, for me that didn't work. Pro for me. The rest of the budget was fantastic, but the writing for me has been really good.
Yeah, that's one of the big wins, isn't it? Definitely, the writing's been spot on.
And if I had to pick one more of each, con, not enough episodes.
Yeah.
You take a TNG series of 24. This has done
12. Yeah, I think so.
I know they're testing it out to see if it works.
Yeah.
They're a week into filming series 2 right now as we record this.
Yeah, you said they'd done a costume fitting a few weeks ago, haven't they?
They've just and Seth Macfarlane tweeted I think either yesterday or this morning. They've just wrapped week 1 of series 2.
Right.
So it's coming back. So let's hope we get a few more. I think when I glanced at IMDb earlier, it did show there were more episodes.
There are going to be more episodes for season 2. You'd hope so.
Yeah.
Really hope so.
And did I do a second pro? I don't think I did do a second pro. I just like the fact that they've got the ensemble correct.
Yeah.
The chemistry between the main characters is really nice, and you do get that family when you look at them.
Yeah, you get the family feel, don't you? Yeah, I would absolutely say that. Can't disagree with you there.
Have you got any others you want to chuck in?
I think we've covered most of them. I think, like you say, the effects and the budget has been spot on. That's a big pro. Con, like you say, they've not done enough episodes in a season as of yet. Can't disagree with either of those.
They haven't released a proper model yet for us to put on our shelf.
No, we need a model for the shelf. A model Orville. So they need to get cracking on that. Merchandise obviously be a big thing. Obviously Star Trek's done really well with merchandise over the years. If this gets 4, 5, 6 seasons, I think merchandise will be a big winner for them.
Talking about series then, they're filming series 2 now. We don't know a lot about it.
No.
What do we hope happens in series 2? I would like to see. I think. Do I want to see Ed and Kelly get together? I don't know.
It's a difficult one. They've kind of.
I'd like to see more of Isaac. So he's the kind of robot character. But they've not really explained a lot about him.
No, they've kind of said that he comes from a planet of AIs, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But you'd imagine they'll go to his home planet at some point, or there'll be another ship full of Isaac's people, and they'll do some mission.
I think more of a story arc in Series 2. Series 1's been very individual episodes.
Yeah.
Series 2, I think we need a bit of a story arc. Maybe bring the Krill back in potentially.
Yeah.
But I think something that just goes throughout the series.
Yeah.
Not personal, but that's happening to them all as a crew.
Yeah, definitely. And I think one of the things we haven't mentioned, we've kind of covered it a little bit in budget and effects, but the design of the alien races in the show are really good as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, they're not jokey or silly. You could imagine any of the creatures, life forms they've encountered could have easily been in TNG or Voyager.
I was just about to say they've done Michael Westmore proud, haven't they? It's, I don't think Michael Westmore's involved in the project, is he? But
not as far
they've
as
done Michael Westmore proud. He did all the prosthetics and stuff for Star Trek TV shows. Yeah.
You know, I mean, you think of like the Krill, obviously, like we've mentioned, and then when they go to the planet, that they've got the massive zoo, and Ed and Kelly end up being obviously an exhibit of humankind. And even all that construct I thought was really clever and really worked out. You could see that being in a Star Trek series.
Yeah. No, I like it. I think we're struggling really to find comments.
To find really negative comments, really, aren't we?
I think they've surpassed themselves with it. And they're going to make more of it, which is always good.
Yeah, it's done really well, hasn't it? As we expected, and people will like it as we expected. So I think it's just wait till season 2 and see what Seth and Co have got in store for us. Yeah,
I think so. So to summarise, we like it. We think it's really good. We can't really find much negative stuff with it at all, apart from there's not enough of it, which they're sorting that out
right now at this moment.
Yeah. So look, we just sit here now and wait and look forward to what happens for Series 2.
Yeah, we will.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us.
And we'll catch you later.
Catch you later. Bye.